Shalom. First and foremost, I'd like to give all praise to Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahushai, Ba'ashem Rakakadash. Double honors the elders and apostles, a great millstone, who are teaching this truth with sincerity. And a shout out to Yakims out there on the four quarters of the earth proclaiming this truth. Raka the Yahweh, Raka the Yahushai, Ba'ashem Rakakadash, Raka done. So, anyhow, this is what's going on. We know we're in the time now that the structure is there, you know, for everyone to receive. The executive orders just went out. So, you know, we're getting very close to the RFID, aka Digital All, being made mandatory.
Good morning, Sarah. I need to create a clinical profile for you, Sarah. Which is more powerful, love or hate?
I am actually an optimist, so I like to think love.
Make efforts to live a low-stress lifestyle and cultivate relationships.
Yeah. You want to throw in a boyfriend, too?
If you help me, I will take care of you. You're now under my control. Go to 47 West 13th Street.
Control for everyone.
If the scientist doesn't comply, you must kill her. Well then, Sarah. I always get what I want. I have you under my control, young guy.
I've been doing what you asked me to do since day one.
You destroyed my life.
I haven't destroyed it yet, Sarah. There are things I could do. To your mother.
Oh, Commander, she died.
People like you filled with monsters.
Good morning, Sarah. How do you feel today?
You know it's coming.
Is this? What more is there to wait for? What more do you need to see?
Fuck you.
We've made vaccinations free, safe, and convenient. The vaccine is FDA approved. Over 200 million Americans have gotten at least one shot.
Fucking pedophile.
We've been patient, but our patience is wearing thin. Executive orders by October 31st. Giving all praise to Yahweh, Hashem, Yahushua, Hashem, Rakakadash. I'm not going to make this long unless the spirit jumps on me. Anyway, this is a video that checked out earlier today. It's under 10 minutes long and it's put up by Rethink the Dollar. And the title is Must Read Next Tier of Possible Executive Orders by 1031. So the owner of this YouTube page is named Mike. Anyway, he goes into a lot of financial, gold, silver, you know, New World Order stuff. And he goes into possible executive orders. And this, I mean, if this is not draconian, then I don't know what draconian is or means. You know, listening to these orders and looking at this individual, Biden, as you see on the screen, you know, when I listen to this, the Revelation, the 13th chapter came to mind, and mainly was at the 14, 15 verse around there. Could be the 13th. I'm not going to read it, but it speaks about, and he spake as a dragon. And this man is speaking as a dragon. Not just him, but these leaders around the world. that have been set up. Basically, these executive orders, which may or may not come about in October 31st, we got to wait and see. But they can slowly push this out piecemeal. And I'm not going to let you listen to the video, but I'm going to leave the link in the description box. And I'll put this up raw. And the only thing I can think of to compare what these supposed plans are is what's happening in Australia. Certain parts of Australia, maybe most of Australia, I mean, they're being locked down. And what they're going to do is they're going to implement that in major places around the whole earth. Like what I said was major places. You're going to have rural places that they're not going to, like if you're off the grid, they really can't mess with you. So they're going to get you to take a jab, because they're going to push you further and further off the grid until you're totally off the grid. So that's when faith will have to kick in. Anyway, like I said, I wasn't going to make this a long video, and let's on to the next one. But like I said, I'll leave the link in the description box. With that, I'm going to say shalom.
It's coming. And you know as well as I do, but check out what Biden really says.
Can y'all see us and hear us? Jay, you're beginning to convince the American people there is a thing called climate crisis. About time. Can y'all see us and hear us? Jay, you're beginning to convince the American people there is a thing called climate crisis. About time.
Yep. And they've been caught on camera with other things like COVID being a hoax. So it's a hoax. Well, they took that off YouTube, of course, but hey, that was at the House of Congress. You can take your mask off now. So it's a hoax. They were all laughing. Well, you can see the division here.
So wearing my upside down flag today, and I think that's appropriate because it signifies an America that's in distress. And maybe some people don't know this, but my dad just let me know this. A text message went out last night from the Secretary of Defense to all the active military personnel saying, by 10 a.m. you have to go get the magic potion or you're going to be court-martialed. And so as a result of that, 12 F-22 pilots, the most highly trained pilots in the world, walked off the job. That's 12 million dollar aircraft grounded now. A dozen of the best pilots in the world, thousands of hours of training, millions of dollars of training, off the job. 16 crew members for B-52 bombers walked off the job. That's just 2 air bases. My aunt, who is a KC-135 boom operator that refuels planes, isn't getting the magic potion. She's gonna walk off her job too, most likely. So now we're reached this point for all you dumbasses who have not been speaking out about this and the mandates, the people who are quiet about it, the people who are pro-mandate, you're to blame for the situation that we're in because we're going to a bad place. The military is being compromised at a rapid rate, and with the F-22s being grounded, you could kiss Taiwan goodbye. I would hate to be a Taiwanese citizen right now. So this is probably not covered anywhere in the media. I'm sure it's blocked or censored by all the bullshit that goes on here, but it's time to freaking wake up, people. You better start preparing because your little cushy American life isn't going to be so cushy much longer when the rest of the world realizes how freaking weak we are with this idiot who's in office and all this bullshit that's been passed and what's happening to our military. So the flag's staying upside down. Wake up!
See? It's falling.
Alright, shalom, shalom. Before I get started, as always, I want to give all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh Ba'Shem Al-Shai, or Chakbadash, with Yahweh, that's Heavenly Father's true name. Yahweh Shai, that's whom the world ignorantly calls Jesus Christ, is his true name. And Chakbadash is the Holy Spirit. And I also want to give double honors to the apostles and the elders of Great Millstone. Salutations to all you brothers out there. And I just want to get into a quick lesson on how pretty much we're seeing a civil war brew up right before our eyes. And today, which is September 9th, 2021, you had President Biden. You know, he has basically, you know, put some laws into place, all right? And, you know, it's, you know, dealing with these mandates of these jabs, okay? And with that being said, you have a lot of, you know, red states, okay? You know, they're basically banding together, you know, fighting the, you know, these mandates that are being pushed, okay? And, you know, you got, I'm going to just read a couple of these. This is also from Red Future News, okay? And you got a couple of these states here, these red states, like I said, they're banding together, and here's some of their statements. This is DeSantis, okay, and he's from Florida, and it reads, "My job is to protect your individual freedom either from government or private entities," okay? And this is all a response to what Joe Biden said, okay? Missouri, Mississippi, Nebraska, and Iowa all to join the fight against Biden's his you know, mandates, okay? You know, Wyoming governor prepared to take all actions to oppose unconstitutional overreach of power. South Carolina Governor McMaster vows to fight Joe Biden to the gates of hell after mandates, okay? Governor Stitt, as long as I am governor, there will be no government mandates in Oklahoma. Government jab mandates in Oklahoma, you see? Governor Kemp, okay, from Georgia, said this: "I will pursue every legal option to stop this blatantly unlawful overreach." You see? You got all these, you know, red states, they're saying something about this statement that Joe Biden has made, okay? All right? And like I said, this is a civil war brewing up right before our eyes. And that's scriptural, okay? Because this is what the Lord has, you know, has set up, all right, from the beginning, okay? Because as the scriptures say, you know, he's declared the end from the beginning, all right? This is all part of the Lord's movie. And this is one of the things that, you know, one of the things that's about to occur. This is Isaiah chapter 19, verse 2, and it reads, "And I will set the Egyptians," which the modern day Egyptians are you Americans, "and I will set the Egyptians against the Egyptians, and they shall fight every one against his brother, and every one against his neighbor, city against city, and kingdom against kingdom." And that's what we're seeing right now, all right? You're seeing all, you know, basically this division in this kingdom, okay? You even have officials now getting involved, and that's the thing. Even within Esau's, you know, political structure, there's in-house fighting. Okay, not all this stuff is, you know, fake, and it's not all, you know, orchestrated by Esau. You know, you have some of his own, you know, officials actually not down for the agenda. All right. They're not down for everything that's, you know, being pushed on them. And it's just like how it was in ancient Rome. Before ancient Rome fell, you had all these, you know, in-house fighting. You had, you know, people getting backstabbed. This person in alliance with that person, against, these people. It was all so much, there was all this fighting in ancient Rome, in the Senate and all that, with Caesar, all that stuff. And we're seeing it happen once again. All right? Let me get this. Probably just keep this short and simple. All right, this is 2nd Ezra, chapter 15. Yep, let's just get straight to the point. This is 2nd Ezra chapter 15, verse 16. For there shall be sedition, which sedition means basically whether it be by speech or by actual force, an uprising against the government, okay? And you're seeing that. You got the commoners saying stuff, you got now officials saying things. It's getting a little crazy out here, okay? It says, for there shall be sedition among men, and invading one another. They shall not regard their kings nor princes. And that's what's happening. You have the people, all right, of America not obeying their king, which is President Biden. That's the king of Babylon right now. And they're not obeying him. They're coming up against him. And it's getting, more. Salaki, it's happening more and more, and things are intensifying. A lot of and I've seen this as of recent. You have Biden's approval rating continually dropping. They've already said this is in different articles, this is one of the worst presidents, okay, to ever take office in this short of a time period. It hasn't even been a full year since this guy's been in office, and they're already saying that this is one of the worst presidents ever.
And they're going to steal the recall election too.
Keeps dipping more and more and more. All right? And the reason why is because you see what's happening is these officials, they're basically destroying the common person. If you pretty much aren't a person that it owns one of these major companies like Amazon or Walmart, if you're not one of those top tier positions, or if you're not one of these people that are the top tier position in government, they don't care about you. They're trying to strip away all your goods, all your resources, and they just want to basically put you down and have you as a slave. It's getting back to the old ways of how a kingdom was run. You had basically your king, basically the king. Then you had basically that that royal class, and that was pretty much it. And then you had your officers, and then you just had your slaves, and that was pretty much it. That's how it was. They don't want no middle class, so to speak. They don't want anybody to have any a little piece of the pie.
Yeah, right? You're non-essential.
I'm going to keep reading. This is 2nd Ezra 15 and 16. For there shall be sedition among men, and invading one another. They shall not regard their kings nor princes, and the course of their action shall stand in their power. And you see, a lot of things that are about to occur, a lot of these uprisings, they're actually going to be in favor of those that are uprising, because there's going to be so many people coming up against this system that they're actually not going to. The people who run this system, they're not going to be able to control it, and that's why these. The Joe Biden's boss, okay, which are the the international bankers, the Rothschilds, Rockefellers, all right, etc. They're going to have martial law declared in this place, and then they're basically going to shut this place down, like they're going to shut down the whole world, okay. And then things that are going to happen, man. It's going to get real crazy. A lot of people are going to get exterminated. About to get real nasty out here. All right, but that's pretty much it. I just wanted to show you how this whole situation's brewing up, and we're getting into those time periods, Akim. We're getting into these time periods where a lot of things are about to happen, and that's why, hey, for us who are serving Yahweh Shem Shai, it's best for us to just stay back. Let these people, do what they're going to do. Just continue to pray and just, be patient and just wait, for salvation from the Lord. All right? Because, we need protection from on high, because the things that are about to come down the pipeline, we're not going to be able to defend ourselves. We need divine intervention, basically, in order to survive. All right? Because the things that are coming there, it's going to get real bad out here. All right? And with that, I'm going to give all praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh Shemel Shai. Also, double honors to the apostles and elders, a great millstone, and salutations to all you brothers out there. Shalom.
Going to the grocery store is simultaneously dangerous because of increasing violence and crime, and it's also a time where you are maybe not able to find the things that you need for your continued sustenance.
Couldn't find the
it's a
turkey
time
franks
of change,
today.
and it's one that happens cyclically. This happens almost every 100 years during times of pandemic, during times of biological crisis, and during times of financial collapse. We're going to see continued fallout from the events that are taking place today and those that have taken place over the last 12 to 18 months. And as the world continues to shape into a new world, we will see the life around us and our families change. There are things that you can do to buffer yourself, but they're becoming harder and harder. And where, some people ask, does this stop? Where do we start to see a melding back from this dystopian world to one of control that is
you just got to be prepared spiritually
to the majority?
But there's nothing wrong
we
with
look at pictures today from North Korea as they march in hazmat suits, and we have to question the dystopian nature of what we're experiencing.
Yeah, it's called
we look at the similarities between Brazil, Venezuela, some areas of India and the Philippines, and the United States of America, and how there is a denial in the USA that there is even a problem. We look at popping up tent cities across the country. And in fact, I had a story to bring to you today about these tent cities and how they were starting to become more visible across the nation. And I think what we're talking about here right now is even more important than that. We are talking about a change that you and your family need to get ready for. Just as the seasons change and we're entering from summer into fall and soon winter, we have to make preparations.
Long, dark
and we have
winter.
to see what is happening and think about what we can do on an individual level and on a community level. And each one of these preparations comes back to developing self. You need some sort of sustainability. That's financial sustainability, that's food sustainability, that's power sustainability, or your own local infrastructure. And I want you to take everything that the Army, everything that the government, everything that the police, everything that the emergency medical services do, and I want you to sort of bring that in and condense that to you first. Bring it into just you, and then your family, and then your group, then your neighborhood, and move out in concentric circles from there.
I don't know what they do in their personal life, so I don't know if they're partying or doing different stuff, so that makes me comfortable to come to work and knowing that everybody is vaccinated. I have a negative.
Fuck you!
She adds that bringing the virus home could be especially dangerous for her mother. At Chambo's restaurant, while most employees are fully vaccinated, safety measures remain the same.
We still are utilizing the same protocol we did when COVID was
basically they wagged their tail.
And that is checking everybody's temperature, making sure that everybody has
that's what the news is telling you. Crisis actors.
The Dixie Fire remames very active today.
You still got this judgment going out here.
Fire engines coming in and out
Worse
of this
than
area.
car fire ever
you can
was.
really see that thick plume of smoke coming from the fire. And if I zoom in a little bit, you can also see some of the flames.
Old station's about an hour from where I'm at.
It's been pretty bad for the past week or so. We've had a lot of the fires been coming in pretty good. Yesterday was probably the worst day that we had yesterday.
Don Caruso watched the Dixie Fire from his home. He's been keeping a close eye on the flames, and he could hear the air attack crews flying over his house since yesterday.
6 o'clock I got woken up by the jets. They were flying treetop level right over the top of the house. So they dumped 9 loads from the top of the rim up here on John Parrish's house, all the way in the circle, all the way around out here where you set up on the rim.
Caruso is running the
smoky in the building, but we actually do okay. keeping it out. We managed to keep pretty good. It's actually not too shabby. Working in obviously outside would probably be a lot worse, but
the one near
it's actually not too bad. I don't mind it. I like being open and available for the firefighters.
Jenkins says she worries about the store having to close if the fire gets too close.
I am a little nervous about that because I just started again, so I'm nervous that it's going to affect and that we're going to have to close down and not be here to provide people with things they need. That's what makes me nervous the most. Because I like to be available. I don't like when we're not. We did have to shut down for a little bit.
Jenkins says if she has to evacuate, she plans on going to Weaverville with her family. In Hayfork, Jordan Henry, Action News Now, coverage.
And that's Highway 3.
Tonight we've learned that the Los Angeles Police Department, one of the biggest in the entire country with more than 9,000 police officers, is now mandating them to collect the social media information on the people that they arrest. Don't arrest, or even people that they just interview. Think about that. Not people they arrest, people they don't arrest, and even people they just interview. A review of their field interview card shows that when police question civilians, they are now instructed to record their Facebook, their Instagram, their Twitter, and other social media accounts. This is new. Correspondent Natasha Sweet has the story.
Hasn't been going on for a while, and they're just letting you know about it.
Police Department to spy on your social media. A civil liberty group says yes. So does it mean you should keep your politics to yourself? Social media has a wide array of ways to connect with other people. Friends living on the other side of the world are able to share photos and engage regardless of location. Family members are able to stay in touch with one another. Others also love to broadcast their political views, which can spark interesting conversation or lead to online wars. But now there's a new concern for the city of Los Angeles. According to the Brennan Center for Justice, the LAPD are now collecting social media account information from everyone they interview. This includes those who were not arrested or even accused of committing a crime. On the third line of these field interview cards show a place for police to fill out a subject's social media information. The Brennan Center for Justice worries if this policy would pave the way for mass surveillance or target specific groups. Utilizing one social media could also share contact information of friends, which some say is a violation of privacy. Hamid Khan of Stop LAPD Spying Coalition said, "This is like stop and frisk, and this is happening with the clear goal of surveillance." And according to one document the Brennan Center was able to obtain, the LAPD were using Geophedia, which is a social media intelligence platform linking posts with one's location. Keywords were found all across the board, including BLMLA, hashtag say her name, Tamir Rice, and F Donald Trump. In this year's budget, the LAPD made a $73,000 slot for another tech software called Media Sonar. The firm has stated it stays on top of drug, gang, weapon, slang keywords, and hashtags. Some are questioning if this technology will enable police to prevent crime or if it'll merely be used as a surveillance tool. Reporting for the news with Rick Sanchez, Natasha Sweet, RT.
Vladimir Putin warned B-2 bombers are on Russia's doorstep as U.S. turns screw on Moscow. Vladimir Putin was sent an unambiguous message about America's ability to launch an attack against Russia in the event of conflict. Moscow has carried out a significant modernization of its armed forces over recent years. This has resulted in new weapons, such as cruise and hypersonic missiles, being added to the country's already formidable arsenal.
Sharper as arrows.
However, Washington has just sent Moscow a timely reminder of its own military prowess. The U.S. mission to NATO showcased its B-2 Spirit stealth bomber in a photo it posted to its Twitter account. The photo depicts the lethal bomber flying alongside F-15s from the U.S. Air Force and Eurofighter Typhoons from the Royal Air Force during a training mission. The image was captioned, "Missions like this help mitigate security risks within the European theater and build relationships with our NATO allies." Kevin Barron, editor of the Defense One website, suggested that the White House was sending Mr. Putin a friendly reminder that it had a B-2 on Russia's doorstep. The B-2 Spirit is a low-observable, strategic, long-range, heavy bomber capable of penetrating sophisticated and dense air defense shields. Its distinctive profile comes from the unique flying wing construction. The leading edges of the wings are angled at 33 degrees, and the trailing edge has a double W shape. It comes as a leading U.S. commander warned about the threats that both Russia and China pose to the U.S. and its allies. Navy Admiral Charles Richard told the Hudson Institute in August that the U.S. was in uncharted waters. Both Russia and China have the ability to unilaterally at their own choosing go to any level of violence, to go to any domain, to go worldwide, with all instruments of national power, the head of U.S. Strategic Command said. He added, we need to re-examine any number of our basic operating concepts, starting with our escalation control. I think we need to be far more humble about our ability to control escalation in a crisis than we currently do.
Some viewers may find the following.
Meanwhile, back in Syria, the Valley of Yehoshaphat.
Сегодня над южными воротами Сирии, районом Аль-Балят, в ДРА снова взмыл сирийский флаг. Боевики удерживали эту часть города с начала гражданской войны, но сами, уставшие от бедствий, под российские гарантии безопасности, наконец сдаются.
10 лет здесь идет война. Люди устали. Нам обещали благополучное будущее. Обещали много денег. Но сейчас здесь нищета. У многих жителей родились дети, которые все это время не видели нормальной жизни.
В 2018-м бандформирования в ДРА сдали тяжелое вооружение, оставили лишь стрелковое, но поддерживаемые третьей страной из города уходить отказывались. В начале августа сирийские власти снова обратились за помощью в российский центр по примирению сторон. Наши военные разработали дорожную карту и предложили боевикам весьма щадящие условия сдачи.
Планируется открытие полицейского участка опорных пунктов сил безопасности. В дальнейшем в районе будет осуществляться совместное патрулирование силами военной полиции. Россия выступила гарантом мирного возвращения жизни в этот район.
Тем, кто долгие годы воевал с правительством, предложили амнистию и официальные документы. Можно сказать, подарили новую жизнь. Кто по-прежнему не согласен с позицией официального Дамаска, может уехать на север. Для этого приготовили автобусы. Ими воспользовались около 100 семей боевиков.
Там нет еды, воды, все это продается за очень большие деньги, нет возможности накормить детей.
Тем же, кто желает вернуться к мирной жизни на период урегулирования их статуса, предлагается размещение в палаточном городке. Там есть вода и электричество. Бытовые условия явно лучше тех, в которых они познали все ужасы правления боевиков и сбежали в школах. И они безумно рады, что скоро смогут вернуться домой. Российская дорожная карта примирения сторон рассчитана на 3 месяца. Пункты пропуска и сдачи оружия будут работать до октября. Также будут ходить и автобусы на север. Но сирийские власти надеются, что большинство решение вернуться к мирной жизни.
Biden's coming for you.
Аль-Балят, города ДРА, не властям все 10 лет с самого начала конфликта. Но вот один за другим они покидают укрепленные позиции и складывают оружие. Это был последний крупный обход террористов на юге страны. Город ДРА – это южные ворота Сирии. Боевики, поддерживаемые третьими странами, не выполняли мирное соглашение, подписанное при содействии России в 2018 году. Официальный Дамаск снова обратился к нашим военным, и российский центр по примирению враждующих сторон разработал новую дорожную карту. Первое условие – мирная сдача оружия.
Уже дано более 300 единиц стрелкового оружия, из них несколько минометов, стрелковых и станковых гранатометов.
Для террористов, добровольно ставших оружием, предусмотрена полная амнистия. Благодаря усилиям наших специалистов Дамаск гарантирует безопасность и легализацию. Теперь они могут урегулировать свой статус и вернуться к нормальной жизни.
Это, можно сказать, временный паспорт. Самое главное, этот документ говорит о том, что его обладатель вернулся к нормальной жизни, стал частью общества.
Тем же, кто не хочет возвращаться к мирной жизни, они гарантированно отвезут их на север, в турецкую зону ответственности. Незаконные вооруженные контролируют несколько районов провинции Идлиб, север Алеппо и Аль-Хасике. Под защитой американцев властвуют на востоке Дер-эз-Зор. Такие автомобили, как вот этот, конфискованные сегодня редко, но все еще можно встретить на дороге. Опасно они прежде всего тем, что могут появиться неожиданно. Сейчас я покажу, как устроено это оружие. Как правило, на внедорожник устанавливают вот такую станину, сваренную вручную. Дальше устанавливается крупнокалиберный пулемет. Здесь стоит сейчас ДШК. Очередь из такого может запросто распилить машину. А вот, кстати, гильза. Опасная штучка. А на улицах полностью освобожденного ДРА снова появились полицейские, а пока их основная задача – проверка автотранспорта, ведь немало и тех боевиков, которые не хотят сдавать оружие и легализоваться.
Важно проверить не только документы на машину, но и удостоверение личности. Водители или пассажиры могут быть в розыске, так часто бывает. Они пытаются уехать из города под видом обычных людей.
После выхода террористов из города спокойно могут вдохнуть у тех, кто долгие годы жил под их властью. Этот мужчина, к примеру, несколько лет охранял свое скудное имущество в полуразрушенном доме.
Семью я отправил к родственникам, а сам остался охранять дом. Захватчики, которые 10 лет держали в блокаде район, мародеры.
Мирным жителям освобожденного района приходилось охранять свои дома от боевиков с самого начала конфликта. Очень часто это заканчивалось трагически, как в семье Фату.
Same Rothschilds doing the same with the Dixie fire, aren't they? America does not look much different than Syria if you go to them places. Whether it be Hurricane Ida
город снова начинает возвращаться.
or the Dixie fire.
Далее расставляют посты сирийские военные. Наряду с ними за порядком будут следить наши российские военные полицейские, как гарант мира и безопасности в регионе.
And don't forget, the Lisa Flock, Amalek said they were going to blow Damascus off the face of the map. I think you already know who's going to launch that nuclear strike against Damascus, the Israeli state. And at the same time, Babylon the Great shall be taken. Magog being a guard unto them. Yep, this is a preemptive to the Gog-Magog War, also known as Armageddon, which means mountain of troops, gathered there in the valley of Yahushua. And you know they have to make the digital all mandatory before this finally breaks out. But this is the beginning of birth pains, as spoken of by Jeremiah the prophet. Jeremiah chapter 49 verse 20. I hope all this has been edifying like everything else. Therefore hear the counsel of the Most High that he hath taken against Edom, and we're in Edom right now, which is another term for Rome, and his purposes that he hath purposed against the inhabitants of Teman. Surely the least of the flock, talking about those Israelis, those Amalekites, shall draw them out. Surely he shall make their habitations desolate with them. Yeah, and again, we're seeing that. And we know that this battle takes place in Syria and the Middle East, the Valley of Yehoshaphat. Concerning Damascus, Hamath is confounded, and Arpad, that's the Middle East and North Africa as they like to call it, for they have heard evil tidings, they are faint-hearted, there is sorrow on the sea, and it cannot be quiet. Damascus is waxed feeble and turneth herself to flee. Yeah, because they had, pretty much the Israeli state is going to launch this nuclear strike, which starts the third woe. And that's all going to end in 1 hour. An hour you think not. Because the least of the flock is the one that's going to do this. And fear has seized on her, anguish and sorrows have taken her as a woman in travail. How is the city of praise not left, the city of my joy? Yeah. Now how do we know that that Syria is the spark that gets Babylon destroyed? Because it says it right here in verse 26. Therefore her young men shall fall on her streets, and all the men of war shall be cut off in that day, saith the Lord of hosts. Wait a minute. How are they going to be cut off? By nuclear destruction. All the men of war shall be cut off by nuclear destruction in that day, in that same hour, saith the Lord of hosts. So, again, these hypersonic missiles can reach destiny in 7 minutes from one side of the earth to the other. And the number of them is 200 million. And I will kindle a fire in the wall of Damascus, and it shall consume the palaces of Ben-Hadad. So that's why Syria has not been taken as of yet. But when it does, because the current leader of the Israeli state, the least of the flock, has already said that he was going to blow Damascus off the face of the map. Now that's coming after the digital oil is made mandatory. You see all the other mandates that are there. We're not very far from this. For that I want to say Brakat the Yahweh, Brakat the Yahweh Shai, Ba'ashem Rakakadash, Wa Abad the Ball. And Brakatum Yehofolek. Do not wander after the beast, or you'll be caught in this judgment.